I'm just kidding.
So, man, Gregor, that looked exhausting, but it was a fantastic fight, a fantastic performance. How did you feel it was going to go? Did you know it was basically going to be just scramble, scramble, scramble the entire time?
It looked tiring because it was tiring. It was super tiring, yeah. And I said to a couple people already in the back, like, DC, I think, asked me right after the fight, he's like, you looked a little like, we've never seen you tired before. Were you tired? Yeah, I was exhausted. And I think there's a difference. I think people are going to watch that and say, Gillespie's out of shape. There's a huge difference in being out of shape and being tired. I was tired. I'm not out of shape. That guy stuck with that pace and, added to that pace in the first round. And I don't know if you want to call it, I baited him into going that pace or I forced him to go that pace, but that's how I do it. I go that hard. And sometimes I don't have to keep going that hard. Sometimes the guy is not as good on the bottom. He can't escape, he can't roll, he can't force me off of him, he can't reverse me. So that's less tiring. Diego was able to do that a few times, and he put me in danger at the end of that first round. He got out on me. I don't know, he reversed me, whatever. There's a lot of fur flying in that first round. It was exhausting, and I was tired. But the difference is I'll still operate when I'm that tired, and I'm okay being that tired. It was really uncomfortable, but if I even said to my coaches walking through the hallway a little bit ago, I kind of had conceded to the fact that if it was going to have to be 3 rounds of that, then that's cool. I accepted that going into the second round and said, if that's what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do. Cool. That he quit before we got there.
To be clear, the only reason I mentioned it was not as an indictment on your cardio, which we know is fantastic. I just think it's a testament to the pace that you guys actually put on. It looked insane.
That takes 2, though. Yeah. That he was part of that.
He was great as well.
Yeah, he just ended up, he wasn't willing to do it as long as I was. That's the only difference. And most people aren't willing to do it as long as he did. So that's, no, like, credit to him. That was hard.
It was very exciting.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yesterday he missed weight by a considerable amount.
A lot.
Yes, a lot. In fact, so much so that I thought the commission might not let you fight today. Yeah. Did you have any conversations with the commission and if that was even a possibility? Or
no, I got a little extra money and I ended up winning the fight anyways. And it was like, I couldn't imagine, had I lost that fight, blaming it on him not making weight. Maybe he felt a little better. Again, who the hell knows? I don't know I don't know the other Diego to compare it to. I've never fought Diego before. I don't know what he feels like when he actually makes weight. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Maybe he was already juiced himself to get to 4.5 over. Maybe maybe the commission would have pulled him if I asked him to make the weight. Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. All I know is I got a little extra money and I won the fight anyways.
Well, actually, if you get the fight of the night, I think his bonus goes to you as well. So
oh my God, please, I pray that happens. Yeah. That would be amazing.
That'd be like an extra $100,000 for you.
Man, I wouldn't complain.
No, if you would. Did you, I'm sure there wasn't, but was there any sort of hesitation in taking the fight?
No. I mean, we asked for a few extra stipulations that we probably figured we weren't going to get, and we didn't. And we got the amount that we wanted to get of his purse, and then we said, okay, cool.
Were you two, I only asked this because it was such an egregious weight miss.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. Were you at all offended, if that's the right word, that he missed weight by that much? If it's a pound or 2, I get it, but 5 is crazy.
I mean, I do things, and the people on my side, my coaches, my teammates, my friends, my family, they'll attest to the fact that I do everything so perfectly that maybe I'm not I have a weird measuring stick, right? Because if I held everyone to the same standards that I hold myself to, then everyone would fall short. So him missing weight by 1/10 of a pound or by 4.5 to me is unacceptable. I've wrestled since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've never once missed weight, and we're talking about hundreds of weigh-ins. I've never once missed weight. And I talked to Keith yesterday after we were kind of discussing the weight missed by Diego, and I said, what would you do if I was 4.5 over? He goes, you wouldn't be going to weigh-ins. I'd pull you from the fight. I said, would you go with? He goes, no, you know what, you could go. I wouldn't go with you. You're on your own if that. And then we were joking around, but we were kind of saying that he would have sat there with his foot on the sauna door until I was either dead or on weight. It's like we don't do that. We're professionals, and again, I hold myself to a super high standard. I do everything perfect. I used to bring my own food to restaurants. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I've lightened up a little bit, right, Keith? Yeah.
How did the servers take that?
They were okay with it. I'd ask them to warm it up for me. this guy, yeah, he'd help us out, yeah. But like, so again, maybe I have a skewed view on that, but I couldn't imagine missing weight by 1/10 of a pound. I wouldn't, and I definitely wouldn't miss by 4.5. And if I was missing weight by any amount, I would go up a weight class.
Okay.
You know?
You also got an interesting call out after the fight. I'm not sure if you're aware yet, but Conor McGregor disputes your title as the best fisherman in
he didn't say that, did he?
Yeah, he tweeted. He said, "This Gregor Gillespie cat is in no way in hell the best fisherman in MMA, not even fucking close." And then he tweeted a picture of himself fishing and said, "I am fishing."
Okay, so, I mean, we could do a couple different things. I guess we could, if he wants to settle that score first, we could definitely do a fish off. And then if I win, we could have a fight off. How's that sound? Now, yeah, that's cool. That's flattering. I mean, he's got a huge audience. Hopefully I pick up a few followers from that, you know, but there's absolutely zero chance he's a better fisherman than me. No one is. No one. You guys will see this week. I'm going to go slam some kings.
Good stuff, man. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
What is the go-to fish that you love to go
well,
after?
my favorite fish is muskie. That's a fish in like southern New York State and into, you know, northwest
Wisconsin.
PA. Yeah, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ohio. My favorite lake, actually, I shouldn't say favorite, but my lake I aspire to go to most is actually St. Clair, which is right around Detroit. So yeah, you know, Midwest. Awesome fish.
That would be a fun battle to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Just to speculate, because like you said, you haven't missed the weight, but you have understood like what it does when you do have to deplete yourself to make weight. So when you said that he kind of quit towards the third, how much do you think how bad he failed and how, I guess, diminished that he made for himself could have been possibly a factor in
He would have quit earlier had he made the weight. And I'm not saying this because he's a quitter, but I put a hard pace on him. And, you know, I threw myself into that firestorm, and I got myself in a little bit of trouble in a couple spots there. But it's like, I just have a huge heart, and maybe if he'd have lost that extra 4.5 pounds, he would have quit earlier. But it wouldn't, I'll put it this way, it wouldn't have helped him depleting his body 4.5 more pounds. But, you know, again, I do everything perfect, you know, and I mean, maybe a lot of people say, oh, he's on the smaller side of 155. Well, sure. I don't want to come in 18 over and have to lose it and then risk not making weight at the end. So I come in a little lighter. I diet almost year round, you know. So some people should probably do the same.
And then speaking, I think this goes to the heart that you said that you showed. And maybe was it part of because you reached a point in the fight where you said, okay, this is what it's going to be. This is what I'm going to have to give of myself to win. I was a little shocked, or maybe just the emotion in the post-fight interview that we saw. It just, for me, I was like, whoa, what put him to that spot? Can you kind of explain what was going through your head? I think you mentioned a little bit about maybe it wasn't self-doubt or what to find things, but where were you at? And can you kind of clear what your head was going through right then?
I mean, I guess for lack of better terms, it is self-doubt. And it's not because I don't believe in myself. These are two separate entities, right? So I always believe in myself. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think I could be the best. If I didn't think I could win that fight with Diego, why would I have taken it? If I didn't believe I could, I took it because I think I could win it. But until you beat someone like that, or you beat a ranked guy, or, you know, I had that 6-fight win streak, then I lost to Kevin Lee, and it's been a year and a half. Until you go and beat another guy, the only thing that you really remember is your last fight. And then you can't imagine, like, well, you got knocked out and you haven't fought since. It's like, well, where am I now? Where do I stand? Can I still beat the top 12, the top 15, whatever? Can I beat the top guys? And, you know, you think you can, but yeah, so it's doubt, you know. But that's not the only reason I got emotional. It's been such a long road since the Kevin Lee fight. I broke my jaw. COVID happened. I've been tortured by trolls online telling me, oh, you retired. And, you know, I got pretty thick skin, but I'm just so sick of hearing it. When are you coming back? And then the whole thing with the Riddell fight, you know, getting canceled the day of because of COVID, totally out of my control when I was totally ready to come back. Added another 6 weeks onto a fight camp that was already 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it was, long. Yeah, so, I mean, coming back, and I joke around with my, seeing them happy, and seeing them jump on the cage at the end and be excited it's the biggest reason I do this. You know, these are my family, And seeing them excited makes it worth it for me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons that I was emotional because of that one. Being a year and a half layoff, probably being a huge part of it.
Well, thank you for sharing for that. And I guess the last thing for me, I know a lot of fighters recently seen that they've said that they've taken time off the social media. Like, we're just kind of done with it. And for those that don't know, somebody off to the side might see, what's the deal with this guy and this fishing? And everybody keeps talking about the fishing. What does fishing do for you in terms of helping to deal with maybe what you see on social media and all this other stuff?
Okay, so I have a couple things in my life that serve this same purpose right now, which fishing fulfilled. At one point, was the only thing that fulfilled that. And my coach Keith over here will attest to this. For the first several years of my fighting career, I lived in like a prison. I have very, very religious, extreme, scheduled, regimented lifestyle that really, a Monday or a Thursday or a Sunday, it didn't matter. It was the same thing every day. There was no holiday. There was no fun. It was all business. It was all training. It was dieting. Like I mentioned earlier, there was bringing my food to restaurants. And I don't know what happened. I think I'd fished my whole life when I was younger, kind of stopped doing it at the end of my high school and college career. And I got back into it. My buddy Matt Lamoureux in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. I went back after I was done with college there. I went back and he took me out fishing. I fell back in love with it. I had a boat in a month after that. And it was a small boat. I ended up buying another boat after my first bonus in Buffalo in 2017, and it's been off to the races since then. But what that does for me is it's a little bit of reprieve, and it's not just like R&R. It's not rest and relaxation. It's something that takes me completely outside of the world of mixed martial arts or combat sports or whatever, or even working out. It's a completely separate life. I have some of my fighting friends and working out friends do fish with me, but for the most part, it's a completely different crew. And it's just something that's outside that and gets me completely away from it. And now what I said before was there's a couple things that serve that purpose in my life right now. And another one is my girlfriend's got me into mountain climbing. And I like that equally as much as fishing right now, which I'll probably be doing on Monday before I go back and put my boat in the water in upstate New York. So, yeah.
Gregor, congrats on the victory. I'm sure you heard it. Coach Saif Sahu, Diego's coach, he was the loudest guy in the Apex.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you heard his instructions and if you use that to your advantage.
I hear one person when I'm fighting, and it's Keith Trimble. And I lock in on that, and it's not something that happens on purpose. It's just something that I hear him over everybody. And I heard him at the end saying, finish the fight. You've got your hooks in, flatten them out. Finish the fight, finish the fight. And I said this in another interview earlier. There's the exact same thing that happened when I was wrestling from when I was a kid all the way up through college. And I used the example of when I was in Detroit, the Palace at Auburn Hills in 2007 when I won the Nationals. There's something like 18,000 fans there, and I somehow heard my dad. And it's the same thing. You don't do it on purpose. It's just you find that one voice, and Keith's been with me the longest. He's like my, father figure in the fighting world and in Long Island. And, that's, I always hear him. I vaguely remember being like, that guy's really, really loud during the fight, but I couldn't tell you one thing that he had said.
You guys had some excellent scrambles. Your wrestling nullified his BJJ. I'm curious to get your opinion on next week's championship bout. Someone you've wrestled and have a victory against Michael Chandler, against Charles Oliveira.
Sure.
Do you expect him to do the same thing you did against Diego with the wrestling outweighing his BJJ?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's a tough one because I tend to wrestle a lot more in my fights than Mike Chandler does. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be a lot of wrestling in that fight. And if there is, it'll be quick takedowns, and he may let Oliveira come up. Or he maybe takes him down at the end I'm not saying when, if he gets Oliveira tired. I don't know. That's a tough one. You don't see Mike Chandler wrestle a lot, but he can wrestle.
And lastly, on the topic of fishing, I know that Bryce Mitchell wants to chime in there, Jack Hermanson. Maybe you guys got to do a tournament.
Oh, my God. They're all chirping tonight, aren't they? Yeah. I think this isn't like an argument. I just feel like I am the best fisherman. I've been saying it. Not only have I been saying it the longest. Go look at my Instagram. There's been a little lapse of fishing over the last few months, but you'll see this week. That's it. You'll see.
If you win a bonus, what are you going to do with the money?
Oh, man. Maybe I'll buy some more EDR. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Cool. We're good? Cool. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.